Hey everybody, it's Leisha Berry. I've got a really neat story to share with you. I was with my husband a couple weekends ago celebrating our 25th anniversary. We had a recommitment ceremony and had a little mini honeymoon weekend at the beach at this beautiful area called Cape San Blas, which is off of Florida. But one of the days we spent walking around the historic river town of Apalachicola, Florida, which is just super cute, old town, lots of history, beautiful old homes and cemeteries and, lots of seafood. And this is a really fun place to go. And we went into a gallery, a beautiful restored home that has been turned into a commercial gallery, and walked into sort of the main hall. And I noticed some pressure on my shoulder and in my chest and solar plexus, which is typically how I experience non-physical energy interacting with me. I feel some pressure, like a sense of heaviness or pressure across here or in my solar plexus. And so, just like, I was there to have fun. I was minding my own business, and walked around the gallery with my husband, and this pressure just kept, kind of hanging around and hanging around. And so I finally excused myself while my husband talked with the woman who owned the gallery and, asked, is there somebody here? Is there something needing my attention? Was somebody needing healing? What's going on here? And I was told that yes, there was someone in the house that was needing some help. And just to give you brief history, I've been sensitive to spirits since I was very little. The first interaction that I can remember was at age 4. I've seen them, I've heard them, I've felt them, and just sort of sensed their presence, since I was very young. And so to me, it's not a big deal. It's not very weird. I know some people get weirded out about that, but it's just sometimes we're afraid of what we don't understand. So for me, it's not a big deal because it's been going on a long time. So I went back in, and I am not allowed to really help anybody associated with a property unless I have conscious permission of the property owner. So it fell on me to then very carefully and tactfully ask her if she knew, if she was aware that there was a presence in her gallery, the house that was the gallery. And so I kind of, are you aware? A little nervous because I didn't want to freak her out, right? And so, I asked her, and she said, "No, what are you talking about?" And so I told her very briefly about who I am and what I do, and that clearing homes and property and people, is something that I know how to do and have known how to do through my shamanic tradition. And so, I told her I couldn't, help this person unless I had her permission, and would she be willing to let me just help this person? And she's like, "Oh, absolutely. And if you get any information, please let me know. I'd like to find out." And I said, "Okay, absolutely. I will do it." So I went out on the front porch and sat in a rocker. My husband and she continued to walk around the gallery and talk. And so when I got quiet, I was told that the presence that had been pressing on me was a male who did not live in the house, had not died in the house, however, was in a violent altercation in the house that later resulted in his death, and that he was hanging around, kind of bound to the house because he wanted to apologize. And this is the information I was given, and so I was like, okay, he needs to apologize. Does he need to apologize to anyone in particular? And what I heard was, no, he just needs to be heard. He just needs to be heard. And so this is where the mom, me, the mommy of all mommies, comes in and says, okay, I'll hear him. I'll sit and acknowledge him and hold space for him. And so I just sat there and was very quiet and just very attentively and with love listened to this fellow say that he was so sorry, that it was all his fault. And of course, I don't know what's his fault, what's he talking about, but it doesn't matter. What was important was that he needed to say, "I'm sorry. It was my fault. Whatever this thing was that happened." And so I'm like, okay, I hear your apology, and I acknowledge you. And just like that, boop, he took off and he was out of there. And that was it. He was released. because I just listened. That's all that he needed. And so I asked for guidance from my helpers, my team, to just, is there any kind of follow up, anything I need to do to, nope, just go in and tell the property owner that it's done. And so I went back in, and by this time her husband had joined in with my husband Peter, and as they were just kind of walking around the gallery, and I came in and she said, "Oh, well, did you find out anything?" And I said, "Well, yes." And so I repeated what I told you, that he didn't he didn't live in the house, he didn't die in the house, but there was a violent altercation in the house, in the hallway where we were standing, and that he just needed to apologize, and that he was gone. And so she, listened. She's like, I don't know what that could be. I mean, I know the house has some interesting history, but I don't know who that could be. And the husband says, "I think I know who it could be." And so, of course, we all turned to the husband, and he says, there was some decades ago a couple that lived here, and one day the husband came home and found a man in bed with his wife. And the husband chased the man down the hall, the very hall we were standing in, and shot this man. And the man later, as he was running down the hall, he was shot, later died as a result of the wound. And as soon as he said that, it just all kind of clicked, like cling, and of course goosebumps, as everything, the truth seeps through, right? And it was like, oh, that's what he was apologizing for. He was trying to say that he was sorry because it was his fault. He was the one who came in and was with this woman, and made this man a cuckold by sleeping with his wife, and so there was this big altercation as a result. So it made some sense logically, but what was so special to me, and this is why I do this work, is that as a result of bringing a little bit of attention and a little bit of love and not a lot of effort, it was only a few minutes, I was able to, and the owners of this property were able to release this bound spirit who was just waiting for an opportunity to make it right so that he could move on. So I want to just advocate for you. This is a story, and I've got tons of stories like this because I have done this since I was a little girl. We gotta give ghosts a chance, you guys. Yes, they're non-physical, and yes, that makes them a little mysterious, but the fact is people are people, whether we're in physical bodies, that we can touch and see, or whether we're in non-physical bodies after our physical body has died and the essence of us continues. We're still people, and we all deserve love and respect. We're so dear. We're just so dear, and it's not weird or bizarre or unnatural. I mean, death is part of life. It's just the way things are. And just because someone's died and they happen not to be in a body anymore, if they were stopping you on the street and asking you for directions, would you really turn away and run away from them, or tell them to go screw themselves? Or of course you wouldn't. We're all deserving of love and respect, and we, just because we don't understand something, doesn't mean that we have to be afraid of it. We can have curiosity. We can learn, and we can trust our hearts. Our hearts know to be kind, whether we're in physical form or not. So what I want to advocate is that we give ghosts a chance. If people have unfinished business, that we may be able to help them out. I'm offering a teleclass on October the 28th called Ghost Busting 101, Compassionate Facilitation and Release for Spirit. Focus on compassionate, because my emphasis is always on wholeness and love and kindness and respect, no matter what, whether we're physical or not. Once again, we're just people, and we can help each other out. And so the primary purpose of this teleclass on October 28th is to educate people about what a ghost is and how we can help them, and even includes a clearing prayer or intention for you to use for yourself, for a home or property. And it's only $25. I made it really inexpensive, so it's accessible to everybody. It's 1 hour of just jam-packed full of stories and information and a demystifying of what many people consider to be very mysterious and maybe even fearful, but truly just a natural part of life. So join me if you can, if you're interested in this thing that's become so mainstream. People are talking about ghosts and supernatural. We see movies and TV and books, and there's just so much stuff out there. A lot of that stuff is very Hollywoodized. The real truth, is pretty practical and pretty low key. And I just hope that you'll join me. It's going to be really a lot of fun. And you can find out more at my website at LiciaBerry.com. Be in touch. I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.